I've got gear. The gear's at the bottom. So, in terms of gear, you've got to find gear that works for you. Not necessarily the latest and the best equipment and gadgets. I started off, as many will know, on a second-hand climb, which I've still got, which took me to my World Age Group Championship win, and then I used it for half of last year. So I mean, that was a second-hand bike I bought for 500 quid from a mate, and I'm incredibly happy with it. Of course, there's a lot to be said for fantastic bikes like the one I ride, but especially as a newbie, you don't have to spend thousands of pounds on a new bike to be able to train and race well. Not even satisfactory, you can race well on more basic equipment. Obviously I can't go through all the gear that you need, but in terms of swim, obviously a good wetsuit, incredibly important to get flexibility around the shoulders. It's got to fit well. My first race in 2006 was at Redditch. I borrowed a wetsuit, it was too big, it flooded, I drowned, and I got rescued by a kayaker. And that's a true story. And that was the first race that my mum and dad ever saw, and they vowed never to come and watch me again. But luckily I managed to persuade them to come to Frankfurt and then Hawaii this year with a promise that I wouldn't drown. But yeah, so it's got to fit. Obviously lube around the neck. I use a plastic bag so that my hands don't get all greasy, because if your hands get greasy you lose the catch in the water, so use something to stop the lube going all over your hands. Paddles, like I said, paddles are great. You need the correct type of paddles. There are lots of paddles out on the market. There are only some that will actually benefit you in terms of helping the stroke. The ones I would recommend, and I'm not just saying that because they're my sponsors, they're the ones I've always used, are the tier paddles. They're called Catalyst, and the women use the yellow ones, and the men use I think they're black or red. They're the ones one size bigger. Anyway, I'd really recommend those because they are one of the best paddles out there on the market. Goggles, obviously personal preference, and you've just got to try some out for size. Bike, the most important thing is the colour. No, it's not. It's that it fits. Getting a professional bike fit is great, but you've got to remember that some of the professional bike fits are geared to cyclists and not triathletes. So what is aerodynamic in terms of a 50 km/h time trialist might not be best for a 25, 30, 40 km/h triathlete. For me, comfort, then price, then aero are the three things that you should think in descending order as an age grouper. For me, I've got to be able to run a fast marathon off the bike, and I know that means I am not the most aerodynamic person in the world, and I've read what everyone said on the forums, and it's all very amusing. Because yes, I might not be the most aerodynamic. I know I'm not wearing an aero helmet, but there's a reason for it. It's not because I don't like being aerodynamic, but it's because I want to be comfortable. You can take a look at my bike. My pads for my arms are quite wide apart. Not because I like them being out like a chicken, but because it opens my chest, and it means when I come onto the run, my chest isn't all crunched up and I can breathe. And it's little things like that. I don't wear an aero helmet in Hawaii because it's hot and I need to pour water on my head, and it's as simple as that. I lose so much heat through my head, as you probably see, because I'm wearing bright red. And if I had an aero helmet, you really don't lose a lot of heat, and that's you know, it's just very simple. So what's aerodynamic might not be best. If you're looking to buy a bike and you want to do both, you know, time trial, so like Ironman and shorter distance races. I rode a time trial bike with road bars all year because I'm not very good at bike handling, and that was better for me. So you can get a time trial bike and put road bars on it. Alternatively, you can get a road bike and put aero bars on it. and you ain't going to lose that much time. So don't listen to everyone that tells you're going to lose X second and X second. Just be comfy and make sure it's all within your price range, because you just don't want to be, you know, taking out loans to get a bike that it's not, you know, it's not going to matter if you don't shave off, you know, a few seconds. So yeah, a road bike with aero bars or a time trial bike with road bars is quite good, and you can